Okay, picture this. It's midnight. A college bus is winding its way through a dense, dark forest. Inside, you've got a bunch of exhausted students just completely passed out, on their way home from a trip. The only thing you can hear is the drone of the engine and, maybe a few teachers snoring. It seems like a totally ordinary, boring end to a very long day. But it's not.
So the bus pulls over in this really desolate, kind of creepy clearing. A few people get off for a quick bathroom break. And it's right here, in the dead of night, with literally nothing around but shadows, that this simple trip home is about to take a hard left turn into something terrifying.
So just as everyone's about to pile back onto the bus, an unexpected visitor shows up out of the darkness, and, well, he's got a message for them.
A lone biker pulls up out of nowhere, his headlights just slicing through the gloom. He asks them if they're from around here, and then he drops this bombshell, this chilling warning about something called a Chhalava. But before they can even really ask what he means, he just says he's in a hurry, revs his engine, and poof, he vanishes back into the night. He leaves them all just standing there, completely stunned and silent.
Back on the bus, you could just feel the biker's words hanging in the air. That name he used, Chhalava. It starts this nervous debate. Right? Is this just some local spooky story to scare travelers, or did they just get a very, very real warning? This is where folklore stops being a story and starts becoming this living, breathing thing that can just infect a whole group with fear.
The name itself sounds pretty ominous, but what is a Chhalava, really? One of the teachers, thankfully, starts to explain it pulling from all these old legends that his elders used to tell him.
Okay, so the word Chhalava itself means illusion or phantom, and that name is absolutely perfect because this thing, this entity, it taps into the specific fears of being a traveler on a lonely road. The legend says it's the restless spirit of someone who died while traveling at night. So now it's stuck there, bound to that road, and it preys on anyone else who dares to travel after dark by trapping them so they can never, ever reach their destination.
And the folklore around it is so specific, which I find fascinating. The Chhalava doesn't just, jump out and scare you. No, it plays a game. It traps travelers in a time loop, forcing them to drive the same stretch of road over and over. It specifically targets the tired and exhausted, and it actually feeds on their fear and fatigue to get stronger. This is such a cool psychological element, right? It's like a supernatural explanation for that very real phenomenon of highway hypnosis, where tired drivers can totally lose track of time. And the only way out? You have to wait for the sun to come up, because that's when its power starts to fade.
So this story immediately splits everyone on the bus into two camps. You've got the driver, Vijay, who's a total believer. He's saying, no, this is real, it's deadly, it causes accidents. But then you have a student, Shrikant, who's just scoffing at the whole thing. He's arguing it's just superstition, a story made up to explain why tired people get disoriented on the road. And this is that classic conflict, isn't it? Is this a real supernatural event, or is it the start of some kind of shared delusion, like mass hysteria sparked by a spooky story in a spooky place?
So the debate kind of peters out, and most people just try to get back to sleep, writing it all off as just some campfire story. But for one student who couldn't sleep, well, that folklore is about to become a horrifying reality.
Sham, a student who's been staring out the window this whole time, gets this cold, prickling feeling of déjà vu. He sees a closed tea stall on the side of the road, and he swears he saw that exact same one not too long ago. A knot of pure dread starts to twist in his stomach.
He scrambles to the front of the bus. He tells the driver, "Mama, we're going in circles. We've already been through this part of the forest." But the driver, he's tired. He just brushes him off. He says, there are lots of forests on this route. You must be mistaken. But Sham knows. He knows he's not mistaken.
So, desperate to prove he's not going crazy, Sham makes a prediction. He tells the teacher, who's woken up by now, that if he's right about this, they are about to pass a very specific landmark he remembers from before, an overturned truck from an old accident on the side of the road. And just a few moments later, there it is. The bus's headlights sweep across the mangled wreck of an overturned truck, exactly like Sham said. A heavy, terrified silence just falls over everyone who's awake. All that skepticism, gone, evaporated, replaced by pure, chilling fear. The myth is real, and they are living in it. And then the most terrifying reality of all sinks in. There is only one road. They're checking their maps, desperately searching for any kind of turnoff, but there's nothing. Just one single path through the woods that keeps leading them right back to the same spot where that biker warned them.
So, now panic is really setting in. They all believe it now. They're caught by the Chhalava. The question isn't, is it real anymore? Now it's, how in the world do we get out? That whole theoretical chat they had about escaping has suddenly become a very, very real survival guide.
In this frantic debate, they come up with 3 possible options. The driver, he wants to just stop the bus and wait for sunrise, figuring that's the only safe bet based on the legend. But other people are terrified of being sitting ducks. I mean, what if stopping is the trap? What if that's exactly what the Chhalava wants them to do? Another idea is to just keep driving, just keep pushing forward, hoping that maybe this particular phantom is weak and its power will just break. But it's all just panicked guesswork, a total gamble in the dark.
So as they're arguing, caught in this endless cycle of forest and road, something completely inexplicable happens. The loop doesn't just break, it shatters.
All of a sudden, the driver just slams on the brakes, and his voice is filled with total disbelief. He's pointing at a sign up ahead. It reads, "Welcome to Borgon." It's his village. It's their final destination. But it's impossible. He knows this route like the back of his hand. They should not be here yet.
Okay, let's just break this down with some cold, hard logic for a second. The trip from Chhalava to Borgon is supposed to be a 6, maybe 7-hour drive. But when they check the time, only 2 hours have passed since they left the city. They have somehow traveled a 7-hour distance in a fraction of the time, even while they were supposedly stuck in a loop. It's a complete paradox. This isn't just about being lost, it's like time itself got twisted and warped. I mean, how do you even begin to explain that?
And that's the question that just hangs there, long after the bus finally rolls to a stop. They made it home, they're safe, but they got there impossibly fast. So what really happened that night? Did the phantom just get bored of its game and let them go? Or, and you have to remember that the word Chhalava means illusion, was this miraculous, time-bending arrival just the phantom's final and maybe most terrifying trick of all?